Hello there virtual passengers and welcome aboard the Cessna 172. Today we're going to be doing leg 3 of our North of England, Scotland and Northern Ireland tour in the Cessna. As you can see, we are currently at Aberdeen Airport and we're going to be heading down to Dundee today. As you can see, it's very wet here in Aberdeen, but the sun is trying to get through the clouds, as you can see up there, and there is a bit of blue. I did see a bit of blue sky when I originally loaded up. There it is up there, all the way up, just about to see it up there. So I'm not sure how the weather's going to be as we go through, but the wind is coming from the south-southeast at the moment across Scotland, so hopefully it's going to blow it past us because we're going to be heading south. So if I just give you an idea today from the Navigraph point of view what we're going to be looking at. So Navigraph, we are currently here in Aberdeen. Let's put the little pink arrow on, it should bring us up. Yep, so we're currently here in Aberdeen, and as I say, the wind is coming from the east-southeast, so I'm going to be taking off from runway 16 today, that's probably going to give us the best chance of a headwind. So a relatively easy taxi, turn around and we'll just taxi the long way round, pick up runway 16 and go. Once we've taken off from Aberdeen, we're going to head... keep mucking this up. We're going to head down towards the coast, and we're going to follow the coastline down to the town of Montrose, where we're then going to pick up the flight plan I've put in. So there's a nice big lake at Montrose, so that's quite a handy little VFR or visual flight rule reference for me to make a right-hand turn. Right-hand turn onto heading 256, and we're going to be going over some wind farms here. So the view should be quite good. We're going to climb up to about 2,000 feet, I think, as long as that's not in the clouds on the way down to Montrose. And as I say, turn right onto heading 256, heading towards Blairgowrie and Rattray, sorry, which interestingly, Blairgowrie is where my grandparents used to live. And once we've hit that town of Blairgowrie, we're then going to turn onto left heading 190, and we're going to head down to Perth Airport. I have had a look at the METARs for Perth, and the wind is currently coming from about 100 degrees. So from a runway point of view, we're going to, ideally we want to be looking at runway 09. It's going to give us pretty much a bang on headwind. So we're going to do a touch and go at Perth, which will be interesting, and then take off again, heading the last 11 miles, pretty much on runway heading all the way into Dundee, where we're going to land on runway 09. The weather down in Dundee at the moment, again the wind is coming from the east, it's only 2 knots, so it's not too heavy, but we're going to look at runway 09. So that gives you an idea of what the flight plan looks like for today. So what I'm going to do now is just go in, get the aircraft set up, and pray for some good weather. So I'll speak to you again when we are holding short. Speak to you soon. Bye bye. Welcome back virtual passengers. We've just done a rather wet taxi, but we're now holding short of runway 16. As you can see, I've set the altitude to 2,000 feet today, and I'll get the autopilot to get us up there at 74 knots, which is our best rate of climb, and we're looking to rotate today at 55 knots. So the route is relatively simple, probably take about an hour to an hour and a half depending on the weather. I've put the flaps down to flaps 1 ready for takeoff, and I've got pretty much every light under the sun on. You can probably see, you can see my beacons, my nav lights, my strobes flashing at the ends of the wings there. I've got add-on scenery for this airport for Aberdeen, which is why you can see various things like helicopters in there, and I've also got a add-on for Perth Airport. Unfortunately I couldn't find a free add-on for Dundee, and because I don't really fly into it a huge amount, I didn't want to purchase one. So you can see my track IR's all up and running, seems to be settling down quite well. Hopefully I haven't made you too sick. So what I'm going to do now is just make sure the flight recording software is ready to go, and then we'll taxi on for takeoff. So there we go. Toe brakes on, parking brake off. Quite a bit of welly because we've got to get up a hill on this one. Taxi on to the runway, and then off we go. There we go. I mean, the reason I wanted to fly, well, the reason that I've kept this on live weather is I wanted to prove to everybody that I don't just fly in nice weather. I know pretty much all of my videos at the moment seem to have been in nice weather, but I'm not averse to flying in a bit of rain and wind and mist. Quite happy to fly in anything really. I just like to keep the weather as real time as possible. Okay, so we're just going to follow this curve round, and that should bring us onto the runway. Yeah, you see the blue lights there that denote the edge of the runway. And we'll just get lined up and go. We'll just do a rolling takeoff today. Unfortunately, there's some vehicles in the way there. Oh, sorry, they're over the other side of the runway, so that's fine. So we're just getting taxiing on now, get lined up with the centre line. Got all my lights on, yeah. Landing lights on, taxi lights off. So landing lights on, taxi lights off. There we go. It's going to be a misty takeoff. So let's get lined up nicely. Good, let's go. So looking for a 55 knots for the rotate. Little bit of right rudder at the moment. Look at the water streaming along the windscreen from the propeller and the speed that we're going at in the aircraft now. Speed takers alive, 30 knots, 40 knots, 50 knots. There's a bump in the middle of the runway there. I'm going to start to rotate. Oh, I didn't record the takeoff. What a shame, because that was actually quite possibly my best takeoff I've ever done in this aircraft. So we're going to stay on runway heading at the moment. Continuing our climb. Flaps up. Off runway heading there. So we're basically heading out towards the coast now. I wasn't watching. It's a bit windy, but it's coming in from the left, so it's not too bad. 600 feet. Sorry, there's not much of a view, but we are now about to fly over the city of Aberdeen, so we're continuing our upward trajectory. Bring the throttle back to 2,500. Save the engine a little bit, save a bit of fuel. Keep on climbing. I am manually doing this at the moment, haven't put the autopilot on yet. Just in case. I'm just literally just using the instruments at the moment. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just I'm going to continue climbing, see what this cloud is like. And then get the autopilot set up. So enjoy the cruise. I'll do my best to make sure that we've got some views on our way through, and I'll speak to you again when we're getting ready for our approach into Perth. Speak to you soon. absolutely stunning. I was actually running out of superlatives for the scenery that we were seeing. It was absolutely beautiful, so I'm going to have some massive issues with editing this video, and there's the runway. I'm going to have some massive issues with editing this video to get the best scenery in there for everybody. I think this is the runway. Having a look now. Trying to find the runway. Dropping down, which is fine. About 800 feet now. Yeah, it looks like the runway to me. Just having a check on here.
500.
Let's be heading towards the top. Ah, it's up over the top here, I think. I'm just going to land on this one, I think. Flaps one. I'm just going to do a touch and go on this one. I've always struggled with Perth, I don't know why. Because this is actually runway 13, but the wind is still pretty much head on. It's just got my feet on rudders, and it's a grass runway, so we can land on that with this one. Runway 15 should be fine. So we're just going to do a touch and go here, and then head off to Aberdeen. Like that, just drop it down onto the ground. Full throttle. Take off. Avoid the trees and the houses. Good. Good, we did it. Need to now bear left. Bring flaps up. Let's go back now a little bit. The landing wasn't too bad. It would have been centre line, I reckon, if there had been one. So we're now heading back towards just get light level change. This goes up to 2000. Right then, guys, I'm gonna let you just watch the rest of get ready for enjoy the rest of the cruise, and I'll speak to you again when we're on final for Dundee Airport. So I'll speak to you again soon. Right then, virtual passengers, as you've probably realised, there wasn't much of a cruise between Perth and Dundee, when we're coming into land. That's the runway ahead of us there. So I'm just getting everything set up on here. Good, so we've got the track IR on, here we go. Just keeping an eye on the speed and the drop. Probably a little bit low at the moment. A little bit low and slow, but that's fine. So we're going to have a nice approach into Dundee. Once we've landed, then we're going to taxi all the way down to the end, to all the parking there. So let's start. So dropping about 200 feet, which is about right at the moment. Just trying to pitch for speed, because I want to try and bring my speed down a little bit. So I can get flaps 1 out at least. So just reducing everything. Taxi light doesn't need that on until we get off the runway. So good news is we've got quite a long runway to play with, and we've got some good visibility as well. So down at 90 knots, it's fine.
500.
500 check. No real wind at all. It's a 2-knot headwind basically. So should hopefully be a relatively good landing. 84 knots, flaps 1. It's going to balloon me up a little bit. Start to drop me back down. Keep approach speed at about 70 knots. Keep our descent rate about 150 to 200 knot. 100. Start again. 150 to 200 feet per minute. Which will do with power. Good. Everything's looking alright at the moment. A little bit more power. I'm going to ignore the pappies as I'm not using any ILS or anything like that. We'll see the city of Aberdeen over there to our left, underneath all the cloud. So yeah, I have to say this is probably in my... I've been flight simming now for 18 months maybe. In this simulator, this is quite possibly the most beautiful flight I've ever done. The scenery and the way that the sun was breaking through the clouds and lighting up different parts of the landscape was just absolutely phenomenal. And I hope you've enjoyed the flight as much as I have. It certainly is a beautiful part of the world. I may have a little bit of a... I think my next video I'm looking at finally doing the first flight on the Boeing 737, which will be from probably Gatwick to Edinburgh, I expect. So we're just 60 knots, a bit slow maybe, but we're keeping our altitude the same. Let's put flaps 2 down, shall we? Not that I'll need them for this length of runway. That's going to balloon me again. So now we can start to reduce altitude. Get our speed up maybe to about 65 knots. That's good. Still need to look at my trim wheel because it's not working. Oh, it is working, just I can't hear it clicking. Okay. Okay, just dropping down the last few feet. Should have a nice gentle touchdown, I reckon. Looking good. Slightly flared, which is good. 60 knots. Should hit that touchdown zone bang on, I reckon. Flare at about 5 degrees. Cut the throttle. You know what? Not a bad landing either. Bang in centre line. 60 feet per minute drop as well. So unfortunately I haven't recorded my best landing and my best takeoff ever in this simulator, which is a bit of a shame. But you know, them's the breaks. It's what it is. It will be on YouTube for prosperity forever now, so just haven't got the replays for it. Okay, so we'll come off here. Come off the end of the runway, we'll clean the aircraft up, have a look at the landing and the landing monitor. Okay, so parking brake on, landing lights off, taxi light on, nav and strobe off, because I don't want to blind anybody. Let's have a quick look at the flaps up. Let's have a quick look at the landing, shall we? Look at that, pretty much bang on centre line there. About 1.1 G, 60 feet per minute. Slightly past the touchdown zone, but do you know what? Not far. Quite pleased with that. Take that. I know it's only a Cessna, but you've seen in my previous videos how difficult I'm finding landing at the moment. Landing smoothly anyway. So we're going to go and park up next to this fuel tank area. Once we can get the plane rolling. There we go. bad views here. Okay, so we'll take this first yellow line that goes off to the left, in front of the hangar. We've got no marshal, so that's fine. We can just go as close or as far as we want to. Okay, let's just spin it round so at least it's facing the right way for a few moments' time. Ready for our next flight. And we haven't got to go too far to get the petrol either, or the fuel. Let's park up, park and brake on, kill the mixture, turn off the taxi lights, keep the beacon light on for the minute, turn the battery off. Turn that off, that off, and that off. Turn off the beacon light. Stop my track IR for a minute. Let's go and look outside, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dundee. I hope you enjoyed the flight. As I say, once we got over the top of, once we started to come out of the clouds, the scenery was just something else. I've never seen anything like it. I am going to struggle to edit this video to try and keep the cruise section relatively short. Can't make any promises, but I'll certainly do my best, and who knows which screenshot I'm going to use as a thumbnail. So, as I say, hope you enjoyed the flight. Thank you very much for joining me on it. If it's your first time to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe and like and comment as well. It really helped the channel. I'm only still relatively small and growing. I think I'm at about 25 subscribers at the moment. I've just realised what the minute thing was. And if you're already a subscriber, please don't forget to like and comment on the video. And I look forward to speaking to you on the next one. Take care. Until next time. Bye bye.